Hello and welcome, you crazy people. My name is Jay, and the developers of New World have released the patch notes for the alpha testers, basically. But it does come with some news that I'm definitely interested in terms of PvP. And it's nice just to see the addition of some other things, as they're adding, I think, two new dungeons or incursions, as they are called. So we'll very briefly go through the patch notes. It's not going to be an exhaustive list of everything. I'm just not interested in this stage until the game's out. Personally, then I will be, but it's also probably something I wouldn't do. But let's just go through what we have got, and we'll talk about it. So the first thing that they're actually leading with, it's called Icebound, and that's because there's a new weapon, the Ice Gauntlet. We've already seen this. If you follow New World very closely, a lot of this isn't actually new. It's just now this is the patch notes and it's going live. But the Ice Gauntlet is a new weapon. It's basically like an ice frost mage, I guess, with a bit of fisticuffs, I would guess. You can read it here. So the Ice Tempest weapon mastery tree focuses on damage and area denial, and the Ice Conjurer weapon focuses on crowd control, protection, deployable ice pillars, and that kind of stuff. So I don't know if there's actually melee involved. I'm not a tester, so I actually have no idea. But there's a new legendary quest as well for that. But the key thing here for me is the PvP things, which is actually the faction control points. So as of right now, the PvP in the game that's been announced is your 50 versus 50 like wars, and your 20 versus 20 battlegrounds. Fine, and you can like do 1v1 duels or whatever you. This is a way of getting more world PvP in the world, because quite frankly, there wasn't that much incentive to fight. Yes, you have your territories, but it was all done in the instance 50-50 versus 50. Whereas now that each fort is basically going to become a control point. Now, these aren't available, I think, like an hour before a war or invasion, or an hour after, and then the live since. And you basically control them by having the most amount of your faction, most numbers of your faction there. If you are taking somebody else's faction, they're going to get like a little message being like, yo, somebody's taking your fort, and everybody's going to come, and it's going to become a focal central of world PvP. You have to flag yourself, so you can't inadvertently stumble into a war and get killed. You have to be like deliberately flagged for it. Sounds perfect, sounds interesting, at least sounds good to me. There are then, you don't get any direct rewards from capturing the fort, which I think is possibly a little bit of a mistake. I feel like they should give you a little bit of something, but you do then gain control in that territory or that area, lots of extra rewards. Like, I mean, you can see some of them on the screen, but like the cost to fast travel, more resources, and that kind of thing. So all in all, I think that's a great way of getting a bit of world PvP as well. So you've got your like sieged instant sieges, you've got your instant battlegrounds, and you've got your world PvP reasons. Fine, good. I think that's interesting. There are two new expeditions, which are basically your 5-man dungeons, as far as I know. One is Lazarus Instrumentality. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but there's one there, and there's another one called Dynasty Shipyard. Fine, perfect. I think that there was one already announced. Now there's three. That's good. I'm just going to go through them very briefly, as I said. There's a new achievement system. Yeah, people like achievements. Fine. It's not personally something I'm interested in, but there you have it. One interesting thing I noted there is, if you get an achievement on a character, it's account wide, but you can't get the achievement by splitting it between characters. You can't do half an achievement on one character and half on another and expect to get the total reward. You have to do the whole achievement on one, but then it's a account wide for you, if that makes sense. That's interesting. The PvP faction missions sound like a reason to go into enemy territory and get stuff there while the enemy's going to be doing stuff. You'll get bigger rewards. That's just the incentive for actually having the territory control. Progression on, like, I think on various like loot and gear are all completely fine. There was something I was interested in down here, which I thought was pretty cool. If I can find it, I say pretty cool, that's a lie. Pretty important to the game, which is simply that there's now secure player to player trading. I I don't remember very much, but I remember in the in the little beta, like people were having difficulties being like, should I drop that and shall we trade this kind of stuff? So it's nice to see that just being properly implemented, probably with like a, you've agreed to this, is that okay kind of system. A little bit like World of Warcraft there. So yeah, pretty interesting. They did elaborate a little bit on the, oh, I'm a little bit in the way. Let's see if I can very quickly move this across. And maybe shrink myself. They did elaborate a little bit on the battlegrounds. Now, personally, the battleground is a 20 versus 20 system. I would like to see them introduce maybe a 10-man battleground and even maybe a 5-man sort of arena battleground. But you know, just because I think 20 versus 20 sounds like it might take a while, but it does sound interesting because during it you're going to have, this is talking about the faction control points that we just discussed. These are the new, forts that are going to be on the map, the world PvP. But Outpost Rush is talking about the battleground, and it talks about how you're going to be gathering resources in it. And basically, you're going to be gathering resources, building siege weapons, and that kind of stuff. Sort of reminds me a little bit of Alterac Valley from World of Warcraft. You're going to be doing several different things to achieve your end result, rather than just complete bloodbath fight kind of thing. Sort of sounds like a battleground version of the sieges. I think they said there's 3 capture points and stuff like that. So all in all, it's very interesting. It's good that you'll be able to queue up for that. I would like to see maybe like a, I was going to say very much World of Warcraft, like a capture the flag 10 versus 10, or maybe like a unique twist on that where maybe there's 3 flags or whatever. But I would like to see some battlegrounds that aren't, 20 versus 20. But there's Baroness Hane will spawn, and you've got whoever deals the killing blow when getting a strong buff. Yeah, so there's all different kinds of gameplay involved in the battleground, but it does give me hope that they're adding at least 2 new dungeons before the game has even come out. That they may add another battleground. I would love to see, as I said, a 10 versus 10, just to make it a little bit more accessible and maybe make them a little bit quicker. Obviously, I don't know the time frames involved in this, but yeah. So that patch is essentially going live for the alpha testers. They can't stream that. They can't make videos of it. It's under NDA. I am not an alpha tester, so I don't have access to it to even really form any proper strong opinions on that. But all in all, I think, and I made a video of this the other day, I think the other day, a couple of months back now, that New World is still the most exciting game that is actually going to get released this year. If they adding these things now in April, it's sort of may becoming more and more likely the game may actually come out in the August timeframe that they have spoken about. So I am definitely interested. It's nice to see the development of the game continuing, and yeah, what I think they're fine additions. Like you can nitpick the details if you want. Feel free. If you're interested, I'll leave links to the post in the description. Personally, I just like the overall direction of the game without getting into the the intricacies. Have a most beautiful day. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Goodbye.